Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again today. This is the In Deep on the Delta weekly fishing report, and this week we're going to be starting off out here at the Tower Park Waterfront Grill.
Correct.
It's right here at the Highway 12 Bridge, McCollum and Potato Slough. And the restaurant out here is fairly new. You guys have been in operation since?
We opened 4th of July weekend, so we've just been open for a few months. We are open for lunch and dinner. We are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, but the rest of the week, we'd love to have you come out and join us.
Fully operational, and what time do you open for lunch?
We open at 11 o'clock, and we stay open all afternoon, all day.
Okay. Excellent boat pull-up access and dockage where you can have lunch and watch your boat. You don't have to put anything away. You don't have to stow your rods. You can watch everything right here. Really nice place out here. You may think it's super upscale, but you guys are family friendly.
Very family friendly.
It's casual dress.
Very casual.
Okay, so don't let that scare you. The prices are about $12 to $15 for lunch, and we'll talk about lunch, and I'm also going to talk about dinner because I've had a few friends come out here for dinner. And dinner's a little more upscale, it's a little more pricey, but from what I've heard, it's worth everything you pay. So what's the address if you want to come out by car?
The address is 14900 West Highway 12, and it's easy access whichever direction you're coming from. You don't have to cross 12 at all. There's easy on and off. Tower Park Way is what the road's called, and you just pull in and you'll see the signs. We're right here.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking from centrally located by car from Stockton, Lodi, Sacramento, Rio Vista area if you're coming in out there.
We're about 5 miles off of Highway 5, so it's not far at all.
And I really think this would be a nice destination to come out and have a dinner also. And so if you're out here, you might want to try it first when you're out fishing, pull your boat up, have some lunch, and you're going to like it. You can come back and bring your wife for dinner. And let's talk about lunches, or basically hamburgers, pizzas.
We have hamburgers, pizzas, salads. At dinner, we expand our menu with some nice entrees, fancier pizzas. We do run specials. On Wednesday, we do a fish and chips that's just about the best you've ever had. It's all day Wednesday, lunch and dinner. Thursday nights, we're doing a lobster tail. And then Friday nights we're running a prime rib special.
And I always have to ask about that fish and chips and let you guys, they're not the fish out of the Delta.
No, okay. No. We only serve it on Wednesdays, so the fish comes in fresh in that morning. It's a beautiful white cod. It's the best batter I've ever had in my life, and people are already, just after a month, coming back again and again for it.
I'm going to be in for that one. I love fish and chips. And you guys have the store, the grocery store, not the grocery store, it's a convenience store.
It's a market basically for the campground.
And that's open every day, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
If the restaurant is closed Monday and Tuesday?
Yes.
But the store is open, so you guys that may be pulling up in here, you want a cup of coffee, or you forgot your lunch, or you need, whatever. They've got the convenience store right here. And that's really about all you guys need to know. It's a nice place out here. The food is great, and come on out and enjoy it. You have anything else you want to add in there, Carol?
We're very proud of what we've got here. We're just trying to appeal to the locals. We love the fishermen and the boaters that come out and join us. We're running live music almost every weekend. There's no charge for it at all. We just like people to come and enjoy. We've got a chef that's doing an amazing job bringing in quality food, quality meat, homemade pizza crusts. We're just trying really hard to make it nice for everyone.
Okay, so I think you guys got the lowdown on the whole thing. Make sure you guys support the local people out here. I mean, it helps everyone when everybody helps everyone else. So thanks for watching. We're going to get right into the fishing report. Carolyn, thanks for all the information.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you out here.
Okay, thank you.
Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. You're watching the In Deep on the Delta report, and this is the report for the week of November 4th. Before I get into the report, I just want to say my wife and I had lunch over at Tower Park the other day, and it was really good, and I highly recommend that place. Even if you're not out here in your boat, if you're Stockton, Lodi area, take your wife out to dinner. go out to Tower Park, and I think you guys will really be impressed at not only the quality of the food, the service is good, but it's just really a nice place. So if you get a chance, get on out to Tower Park and hit them up, have dinner or lunch out there, and you're going to have a good time. All right, before we get into the river report, I want to talk about Maloney's. I talked to John Liechty from Experience Fishing Guide Service, and I just want to let you guys know that Maloney's only rose I talked to John on Sunday, it had only risen about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet, so it might have gone up a little bit more since this weekend, but it's not dramatically, rising. Now John's reporting the fishing's pretty darn good up there, so I wanted to let you guys know that if you need to get off the delta and go up to a mother lode lake, Maloney's is fishing well. The river's arm is a little cloudy, but the main body of the lake is perfectly fishable. It's in good shape. John's catching fish in about 5 to 50 feet of water, so he's moving around a lot and trying a lot of different techniques. So whether you like little shaky heads or throwing swim baits, or maybe not swim baits but kitex and things like that, you got a chance to catch fish in shallow water, you got a chance to catch fish in deep water. The other thing I will say, John is going to be very busy this week, so if you're thinking about booking John up, make sure you give him a call and book up now, even if it's for December or January. You want to call him now. And that's John Liechty at Experience Fishing Guide Service. Let's get into the river report now, and it's a stinker. So what we're going to do this week is I'm going to talk about river conditions first. I'll give you a quick report on what my reports have said and what I've gotten from the shops, and then we're going to talk about what's going to happen in this week and the coming week, and I'll talk a little bit about what I've been doing out here, because from all the reports that I'm getting, I think this is one of the weeks where I've actually had a lot better fishing than a lot of people out here, and I'll give you what I consider my keys to success. So water conditions right now on the Delta are not bad. They're anywhere from about 2 to 6 feet of visibility, just depending on where you are on the river. It's clearing up little by little, day by day. The Sacramento side, I've heard there's been some days where there's been some chocolate water coming through, but that's also clearing today. I talked to some fellows that were fishing up north just this morning, and they had about 3 to 5 feet of visibility. So visibility is not a problem. Here in the central Delta, San Joaquin side, I found everywhere from 61, 62 degrees, even 63 degrees on a couple of days where the sun is coming out. Now, Sacramento side, the water temperatures are maybe 2 to 3 degrees, a little cooler. But again, water clarity and water temperatures are not a problem. The barometer has been pretty steady. What the problem has been, and why the fishing has been so difficult in the last week, is that we just have not had a good tidal coefficient. The tides just aren't moving out. I've seen the same pieces of styrofoam and the same patches of hyacinth in the same areas without being flushed out for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. What's going to happen this next week is we're going to get some bigger tidal coefficients starting, I think, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're going to have a lot bigger tides, and hopefully that's going to flush not only some of the hyacinth and some of the garbage out of the river, but it's going to clean it up a little bit. It's going to hopefully perk these fish up into a little better bite, and this next 10 days the weather pattern looks pretty flat. Couple days there's 20, 30, 40% chance of light showers, but for the most part the barometer is going to be steady. The weather's going to be nice. The water clarity is clearing up little by little, and the tidal coefficients are going to be really good. So the poopy fishing that we've had last week, we're just going to have to put that behind us and look forward to this next week. Now, let's get into the reports. I'm lumping in stripers, largemouth bass, and I'm lumping in all of my reports that I got from my subscribers, and thank you guys that are out there sending me the reports. And I know the fishing is tough, and I know it's hard to send a report when you're not catching fish, but it really helps me, even for a lot of you guys that said, hey, I was out for 5 hours, I caught 6 dinks. I caught them on a jerkbait, or I did this, I did that. That really helps me. So thank you guys for sending in the reports. But I'm lumping all the reports in my reports. Hook, line, and sinker, Outdoor Sportsman, Haps Bait and Tackle, and Haps sent me the best report out of the entire batch of reports that I got. And that report was, if you want to catch fish, now's the time to go out and catch a sturgeon. The sturgeon bite actually increased. Everything else, stripers, largemouth bass, just stopped. And that's all I'm going to say about it. And I did talk to Jeff Soo Hoo from Soo Hoo Sport Fishing. And Jeff is a striper guy out here. Most of you guys know Jeff. He fishes out here almost daily, and he's always catching fish. He had to really work for fish this last week, and Jeff was saying, you know, I'm finding the fish. I'm seeing big schools of striper. We're getting on them. We're dropping down. And last week, those schools that I was dropping on, we'd have 2 or 3 rods go down the minute you drop down. This week, dropping down on those same sizes of school, and the fish just aren't biting. So that's telling us that we're in one of those lulls in the river, and it could be because of barometer, it could be because of poor tides, it could be, for whatever reason they're not biting. But they have not bit very well for about a week, maybe a little over. But everything looks good coming into this next 10 days. So we're going to have a Wild West Pro-Am tournament Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'll give you the results of that tournament next week, and it's going to be really a good judge of what the river is doing. These guys are really good sticks that are going to be fishing this. I think it is the championship of the Pro-Am championship for Wild West. So there's going to be some really good guys out here, and if their winning weights aren't over 20 pounds, that's going to tell you that the fishing is tough. So we'll look at that, and I'll give you a rundown on what happens with the Wild West next week. Now, I told you that I've been doing pretty well. Pretty well meaning I'm getting 12, 13, 14 pounds fairly routinely. But this is the deal. They're not easy to catch. And there's 3 things that I have done since the water went from really clear to clouding up to, we'll say that 2 to 5 or 6 feet of visibility. I'm still fishing jerkbaits primarily. I was catching about 50-50 jerkbaits, chatterbaits. Chatterbaits have dropped off. The jerkbaits are still working for me. I'm throwing Vision 110. I'm throwing that Vision 110 Max, the bigger one, and I'm throwing it in an AU color, or I'm throwing other jerkbaits that have gold in them. First thing I'm doing is slowing way down. I'm making a long cast, and I'm finding that most of my fish are not coming in on the first part of that cast. They're coming in through the middle of the cast to the boat. 2 weeks ago, when they were really aggressive, I'd throw that bait out there, pop it a couple of times, and a lot of times just bam, they were just honing in on it and eating it. What I'm having to do now is slowing it way down, casting out, making a long cast, pop, pop, pop. I like to hit it right as soon as it hits the water, right away, and then I'll stop it. And what I think is happening is the fish, because of the visibility, they're taking a little longer time to hear the vibration of the jerkbait. They hear it, they're coming in, they're finding it, they're tracking it a little bit, pop, pop, let it sit, and it's taking them longer to grab the bait. They're not as aggressive, so you just have to slow it down, make sure the pauses are longer in between the pauses, and when you're jerking those baits, don't try to jerk them 2 or 3 feet at a time. Jerk them 6 inches at a time, so that when the fish come up and they're tracking them, they're right on the thing. They can find these things in a foot of water, but they really need to have a little more time to track them a little bit and hone in and grab them. And again, a lot of my bites are coming, say, halfway in the cast. They're coming about halfway to the boat, to maybe 6 feet from the boat. So they're really tracking these things a long way before they're before they're actually biting it. The other thing I'm doing is I am looking for the more dramatic drop-offs, and instead of dramatic and deeper, if I can find a drop-off that goes from 2 to 6 feet or 7 feet or maybe 3 to 8 feet, that's where I'm fishing. I don't want the 2 feet of water going down to 3 or 4 feet. The deeper I go, the more fish I catch, and the deeper fish seem to be the fish that are biting. And when I talk about deep, most of my fish are coming from 6 to 9 feet of depth in the water. And you have to remember, these fish out here on the Delta that live their entire life and maybe 3 to 5 feet of water. When we talk about going down to 6 or 7 feet of water, that is a huge change. So you really have to keep that in mind. Slow down, and even if you're fishing 2 feet deeper than what you were fishing last week, make sure you get out in deeper water. If I'm fishing a flat, I'm not fishing a 2 or 3 foot of water flat. I'm fishing a flat that has depth of at least maybe 4 to 5 or 6 feet, and I'm catching more fish in those areas. I'm also keeping a very close eye on my bait, and a lot of times you'll hit a pot of fish where you see some fish, or you'll see an area that is holding fish because you see the smaller fish or maybe even bigger fish tracking that bait. At that point, I'll put the jerkbait down and I'll pitch out a worm. Just a weightless wacky Senko, and they are taking these things slow. Throw it out, just let it sit, pop it a time or two, and pull it back in. But I am only fishing that worm when I know there's fish there, because visually I've seen them following my bait. So with that, give that a try. It may help you guys, and I'm hoping that next week we're going to have better fishing. The weather out here has been absolutely beautiful, and if nothing else, I mean, the cloud cover and everything just makes for some beautiful fishing out here. So get out and give it a try. I think if we have a shot at good fishing, before the winter really sets in, it's going to be in the next couple weeks. So make sure you can get out and take the family out. It's still warm enough out here. It's beautiful. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. If I see you on the water, I'm going to make sure to stop and hit you up and get a report from you. So thanks for watching again. We'll see you guys next week.